The essential cannot be seen, it cannot be recorded, it is just there. That is why we advocate meditation on a regular basis. You know that you desire and deserve a good life. That is clear. What the interpretation of that good life is can only be done by history, by past experiences, by the people you've seen. But you see, I don't know what it is like, but I open up to possibilities. By the existential, you are focusing on what is possible within your reach, what is possible on the basis of other people's experiences. Could be your father, mother, sister, uncle, brother, communal people experiences. But by the essential thinking, you are focusing on possibilities. If somebody steps into your space and you see the person that, just like normal human beings, you know what they are not trustworthy, they are this, you have limited the scope of your possibilities to experience. You get it? But if you open up to the person and say, okay, this is another human being, what's possible with him? What's possible with her? Okay? It's like when you wake up in a new day and you don't start living on the basis of your life yesterday and start seeing life from that angle. You say, what are the possibilities of today? This is a new day with new angles to life. What angle will be best for me today? People have quarrels with their spouses, with their loved ones, and they go to bed with it. They didn't resolve it, very bad. They wake up, that trouble, that quarrel has consolidated into a mood. And they wake up with that thought, and they are thinking of how to respond in the light of the past experience. But you see, that's existential. But you see, the essentialist, somebody who goes beyond existence. When the person is waking up, he stops at the theta brainwave moment of his or her waking period and say, what is available today? What are the possibilities today? And then he sees, yesterday we had a quarrel, cancel. That was yesterday. Okay, but today, what is it? I don't know what is possible, but I'm open to positivity. I'm open to possibilities because there are so many synchronicities that are possible for every new day. There are so many possibilities that are possible upon meeting a human being. Whether you've known the person before or you're meeting the person for the first time. But you see, when you allow your past, when you allow experiences and history to guide you, when you allow principles to guide you, wow, then you are limiting the possibilities. You are creating. How people relate with you, how society responds to you is all a product of your allowance. Both the existential thinker and the essential thinker, they want to be happy. They want to focus on the things that make them happy. But you see what the difference is. What makes the existential person happy are things that are subject to the vagaries of time. They are subject to people's interpretations, people's experiences, what this policy environment is speaking about. You know, they are so concerned about government policies that they have gone to the point in which they are condemnatory. They are critical of government. They are critical of the fiscal policies. They are critical of the political policies and everything. And they are in a state of unrest, turmoil. And they always want people that will help them, join them in the debate, the discussion, to attack the government of the day, to attack the policies or to discuss the policies. This is digging one's own grave on the basis of history. But you see, the essential thinker does not really care about what society says or does. The government policies are not the basis of the essentialist thoughts, because the essentialist believes that it is his or her thoughts that create the allowances that become the reality in his or her life. And when a thought is embraced, is allowed to ferment, it becomes a feeling, and that feeling sucks the thought into an emotion. And when you get to the level of emotion, you are creating a reality on the basis of those thoughts. So from here, you see people who are perpetually bitter against their country. You see people who begin to think of taking up arms and becoming revolutionaries. Now, This is where wars come from. This is where civil unrest and strikes come from, because they just want to make the society pay. They want to make government pay. Existential thinking is about punitive relationships. But you see, in the essential point, nobody is guilty. Nobody deserves punishment. Why? Because hurt people hurt people. If a person has not been marred by experiences of life, the person will not be in a position to mar other people. That is essentialist thoughts. What are the things that make the essentialist tick? It's just that nothing is real. As long as my senses can perceive them, they are not real, because the word actually is perception. It's not real. Okay? Perception is an interpretation. It's not cognition. Cognition is recognition without any historical evidence to back it up. You just feel it. It is true. Intuition, for example, is part of essentialist mentality. I use mentality because I don't have a better word to use there right now. Because the intuitive is higher than the meta. It's coming from the supra-meta space of being, and the meta picks it and throws it out into life. If you embrace the intuitive part of your life, you will grow maximally. It is not a joke. So, in earnest, your life should not be a record of history. It should be the recorder of history. You are richer and you have more possibilities than you can ever know. Embrace your infinite possibilities. They are there waiting for you to serve you. So, what are we saying? Both the existentialist thinker and the essentialist thinker, they are all interested in the material sides of life, because without it, there is no life as we know it here. But the difference is that the essentialist is seeking those material things on the basis of self-improvement, of self-development, because she knows that they attract the material things after sorting the spiritual, because we have come to understand that it is the unseen things of life that generate and create and control and manifest the seen things of life. But to the existentialist thinking, it is the other way around. There are two ways you can look at the existentialist thinking. One is that I have to do it for it to happen. We agree, but how do you do it externally? Have friends, have relationships, create a network of all of that, and you begin to become conscious of what people think, say, or do about you. Because it's about network now. The network must not be hosted. It must be symmetrical. It must be fluid. There must be no holes. So that there will be no leakages. Then the desire to control others, to control what they are saying or thinking, becomes very strong. It becomes obsessive, because your life depends on that. But to the essentialist, no, my life does not depend on my network. My life does not depend on what people say, think, feel, or do about me. My life is only dependent on what I think, feel, say, think about myself. So how am I thinking? So every moment of the essentialist person's life is filled up with high volume data upload. It's loading up the being of his project being with quality data. That is true affirmation, true acceptances. You know what I'm going to do? I will do a video explaining how the essentialist thinking relates with the internal manifestations of their beings, and how the essentialist does it. I will explain them to you in full details. But for now, just understand that you are essential. You are not existential. That which is existential is time-bound, is subject to manipulations of time, place, people, and occurrences. It is perishable. All right? It is always changing. But the essential, what you see as change in the essential, is actually manifestations of other sides of it. Because it is infinite. The essentialist thinking is unknown. The essentialist looks at things. Material things are not what drives the essentialist. What drives the essentialist is essential thoughts. You know, essential things. How do I feel? The feeling is key. And when the essentialist is feeling not so good, he blames nobody. And then he or she knows that something has not been rightly honed, not been rightly positioned, and they go inside to make corrections. They are not outward bound, they are inward bound. They come from the inside out. They blame nobody, they explain to nobody, and they hold nobody accountable for their life experiences. But for the existentialist, it's about what others have done. Then I was talking about the aspect of the existentialist, which is even when they try to embrace the unknown, they embrace it from the perspective of, if I am good, I'll be blessed by the unknown, by the supreme. You know, I have to deserve. You get it? I have to deserve my earnings. Because if I am not good, life is not happy with me. All those kind of thoughts. These are all debasing thoughts. Judgment, fear of judgment. You see, what is driving them is the future. Everything about them is future, future, future. The future, the yet to be seen. I don't want to go to hell. Wow. I want to go to heaven. All those kind of thoughts. But you see, the essentialist is the king of their existence. Their good is the primary reason for being, because their good actually signals the good of others. They are not scared of hell. They are not attached to heaven. Right? They see the human being as the basis of life. Therefore, respect for every single human being, not an institution now. Human, one person. One person. Each person they come into contact with is king, is God. They have respect for them. They value them highly. And that is why they want to be in good mood, or they want to be in positive mode, because when they are in positive mode, they can actually reach out to people positively and bless people positively. It's about growth centricity. That is essential thought. That is the essential way of life. It is putting the carts behind the horse. It is about understanding the nature of the beast and driving the beast along the line of its nature, not to drive against the nature of the beast and create chaos. There is no essential thinking without meditation. There is no essential life without introspection, because you have to consistently be aware of what is going on your inside, and you have the key to resolving any conflict, any potential conflict that is brewing within you. Your body will signal you on the basis of the environment signaling it. Your place is to interpret that signals in line with your essence, not in line with your existential desires. So again, I have spoken. I hope you've heard me. I hope I've spoken well enough for you. But I want you to understand one thing. The basis of happiness in life should not be material. It should be essential. When it is essential, it means you place the well-being of a human being above the things you get, above your institutions. There are those who will fight human beings for their institutions. They will tell you, if you belong with us, we will take care of you. If you are not one of us, we don't take care of you. That is existential. That is the roots of social chaos. But if you understand that life is interconnected, that every soul is connected to one another, what you do to one, you do to the others. If you neglect somebody when they have needs because they don't belong with you, you have neglected a key aspect of your own existence, of your own life. You are doing yourself. What you do to one, you do to all. That is the understanding that we are passing across here. Life is a beauty if we understand that every life counts, and that every action and thought that we emit is energy. It is life. It manifests at the essential level and drives the human life and societal life. You will understand that nothing happens externally by external actions. They come from inside. So if you want to solve social problems, societal ills, you have to go back inside, not from the outside. So these wars, these conflicts and all of that, they are just one way of increasing the karma. It's one way of increasing the problem. It's not solving it. It's just deepening the sufferings, because a life that seeks to punish, a life that seeks to redress ills by creating more ills, is a life that has gone awry. It has gone off the road. Anything can happen to that life. Don't live on the basis of such things. Live like Christ would say, I will have mercy and not sacrifice. Sacrifice has to do with punishment. It has to be with dealing with people for their sins. It's not your place. You are not the judge. You are not the executioner. Live on the basis of beauty, of purity, of love. That is just the life that counts. Thank you.